I believe if you speak negativity into your city, into your kids, into your life, then you're gonna reap that. But I also believe on the converse, if you speak positive narratives and proclaim success, then you're going to achieve it.
Welcome back to the Verbally Effective Podcast. It's your double E, Ena Esco. I know I've been away for quite a bit. I have been on hiatus handling business outside of the Verbally Effective Podcast. However, I couldn't let my baby go. So we are actually inside of the Cossitt Library in our new content studio, new equipment, all the bells and the whistles. And I said, hey, I am bringing back a new season of Verbally Effective. I have missed all of you. You know that Verbally Effective is the podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis focus. Memphis is my deal, right? And I have someone here today with me that is running the city of Memphis. You've seen him on this platform numerous times. He is a good friend of mine, and he is the mayor of the city of Memphis. My dear friend, Paul Young. Mayor Young, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here for the revival.
The
The
revival.
revival,
I said,
yeah, we
who
back.
don't wake the pod
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
None
we back.
other than Mayor Young.
This is my third time. I think this is
I believe
third
this
time. Yeah,
This is 3.
yeah, maybe 4. All right, yeah, but
Yes.
I'm a
but,
regular.
You know, we deal all the time with all the things
Yep.
going on in college, all things media. He is a frequent guest for our Podbox Memphis podcast
Yep, that's
festival.
right. That's right. Yeah,
But you
I
do a
love
great
that too.
job.
I love that. That's a great event, and it was really cool just seeing all the creators in the
Yes.
space and like getting to meet them face to face was just that, man. That was a pleasure for me.
Yes. And speaking of creators, since you brought creators up, creators in the city of Memphis is something that's very near
Oh yeah,
and dear to your heart. Why is that?
because I feel like for our city, we need to latch on to the things that make us special. I always tell people, you don't build a great city by solving the problems. You build a great city by leaning into the strengths. And I feel like we have the upper hand when it comes to creative talent in the city of Memphis. And from my seat, I want to find a way to elevate that profile.
Mm-hmm. So outside of me, who are your favorite creators in the city of Memphis?
Well, most of mine are probably musicians. I mean, I like the music side, but when it comes to podcasts, I'm trying to think of. I don't know all of their names.
I know you went on
There
Fight
was one. No, there was one.
Cap. I saw you on the Cap podcast.
Yep, Cap was great.
out
They
to
doing
my
great
folks.
work.
Yeah.
Erica, and I forgot my man's name that's on there with her. Jerry. Yep.
Yes.
But there's these young guys. I went over there when, man, see, you're making me feel old. What's the YouTube sensation that came to town last year?
Last year, you
Last year, the guy
Oh,
that-
I Show Speed.
I Show Speed.
Yes.
I
So
went
you
to
met
the-
him when he was here.
Yeah, I met him, but I also met these creators. I went to their house when they were doing all the flipping and jumping into the
Oh, you
pool.
were
And
there with the pool.
yeah. That was real cool. I
Okay.
can't remember the young guy's name, but shout out to them because they were really dope guys. I like Tapped In and the work that Tapped In is doing.
Oh yeah, I like that work as well.
Yeah, so it's a lot of great creators in the city, man. We just got a vibe in Memphis that I think is just unmatched.
It is, definitely. What do you feel is the biggest misconception about you right now on April 1st, 2026?
I mean, I guess I would say that it's not necessarily about me, but about the role. I think people believe that the mayor controls all the things happening in the
And
city.
you can immediately fix it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I see people send comments about why did the mayor do this with the schools, or why did the mayor do something with the state? It's like so many different levels of government. Or why did the mayor close this restaurant? Why did the mayor?
Not you close
Why
that
don't the
restaurant.
mayor open this new grocery store right here? And certainly the mayor can have influence on a lot of things, but the mayor doesn't control a lot of those things. So I would say that's probably the biggest misconception. About me personally, you know, I try not to get too high or too low. Don't get too high on praise. Don't get too low on criticism. Just keep doing the work. So I try, I won't say I don't pay attention because I see it, but I don't internalize it because what I say is they ain't talking about me. They don't know me.
Mhm.
They know the mayor.
Even
They're talking
initially,
to the mayor. Now,
you got some of that
oh
criticism?
no, you had to
Yeah.
get to this point to that point.
Yeah.
Like, when you first get in, like it's mostly well, no, I won't even say it's mostly praise because it starts immediately, the criticism, but it hits different when it's folks that you actually know and you have
Oh, yeah.
relationships with and like, oh man, I thought we were cool.
Mhm.
And this is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then you see them later and they act like you're still cool. But I had to mature to the point where like, all right, like all people aren't the same. They don't have the same level of integrity that I might have and how I would conduct myself when I have a relationship with someone. And I just stop internalizing it and saying, all right, they're talking to the mayor. So I'm not going to hold a grudge about it. I'm going to keep moving and pushing.
Yeah.
And it's a it's a maturation process that you go through when you're
I
in this
can
role, and it
imagine.
happens pretty quick because the stuff keeps coming each and every day. There's something new that you have to respond to, and what I've found is that as mayor, you could spend all your time responding to the stuff that comes to you, but you got to dedicate some time towards doing the things that you really want to happen, or else you'll turn around and 2 3 years will have passed and you will not have achieved any of the goals that you had. And so my goal is just stay focused on the things that I believe are going to make a difference for the city. And that gives me peace at night. And just do the things that you believe in your heart. When you believe it in your heart that you're making the right decision, you can sleep easy at night.
Yeah. And with that being said, you have goals, right? You got to set the time to accomplish those particular goals. What are your top 3 goals right now as the mayor of Memphis?
We got to bring back population in the city of Memphis. That's one of my top goals. It ties into the housing goal, which is to get 10,000 housing units in the city by 2030. But we have to build up the population because when you drive down some of our commercial corridors, we see businesses leaving they can't sustain. It's because the population in the neighborhoods aren't as strong as they were 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And so they don't have enough customers. We need more housing. We need more people. When we talk about jobs and recruitment, we need more talent, which is why the other goal is to make sure that we are doing workforce training. We're trying to get 5,000 individuals ready for career jobs by 2030, which is our workforce training program that we're looking to put in place. And then the other goal is to engage these young people because
How do we do that?
well, first, we have 3,000 jobs that we are going to have this summer for young people. When I came in, one of the first things that I would hear is that our young people need more things to do. We got to find ways to put money in their pocket. We had about 1,200 summer jobs at that time. Last summer, we got to 1,800, and I gave the team a charge and said, let's get to 3,000. Let's push, just figure out how to get there. And shout out to Director Brian Harris. They found a path, and we had, I think, 4,200 applications. About 340 businesses
Okay.
stepped up, and they're going to host these young people. And now we'll have 3,000 young people working this summer.
Wow. I think that is extremely important. I have been seeing quite a bit as I scroll on my phone with the youth even mentioning Memphis, talking about there are not things for them to do. There are no
Mhm.
job,
Yeah.
so there's nothing fun to do. But when you present them with some of this programming, are they making a choice not to do it,
No, they're
or
doing
just a
it.
mixture of
They're doing it. I mean, like I said, there's 4,200 applications for the 3,000 jobs that we have available. So there is demand. We have free summer camp that we've been doing the last couple of years. We'll do it again
it?
this year. They do a program called Play Your Part, where we take out inflatables, food trucks, all kinds of events, and we take it to parks all throughout the summer on Friday nights. We're trying to find ways to keep our young folks engaged. And this is just from the city perspective. I think what people are looking for is like the Liberty Land and Adventure River and all the
Mhm.
stuff that we had when we were growing up. And we're even exploring how we could get to some of those things. Obviously, that takes more investment, and we need private partners to help us with it. But we're even looking at things like that. So we're going to keep pushing for the young folks for sure.
I heard it's a Memphis racetrack headed this way. Is that correct?
Yeah. I heard about that. I think it's the one in Millington that they're
Yes.
reviving.
You know, I'm a Millington graduate.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right. All
A
right, cool.
Trojan, okay?
Yeah, well, we glad to see something happen in Millington too. It's not the
Okay.
city proper, but our people can get to it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I really
we're
believe
building.
in regionalism, and so the more that happens in and around Memphis, the better it's going to be for all of us.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so the elephant in the room, Paul.
Okay.
Let's talk about this past weekend.
Yep.
There was a No Kings protest in the
Mhm.
city. We're at the end of the protest, and officers, Memphis police officers, pepper sprayed some of the protesters, and we all seen the video. It
Yeah.
looked unprovoked. I think there has been some discussion about who had a permit, who didn't have a permit, those things, and where they should be standing, if they should be leaving or going. But we all saw the video.
Yep.
I think as it stands, and you can update me on this, the officers were suspended. How long are they suspended?
So they're on administrative leave.
On administrative leave.
Yeah, while the investigation takes place, which is standard course of action. Whenever there's a issue around use of force, there's an internal investigation that we conduct. And sometimes the officers on leave, sometimes not. But in this instance, they are on leave while that investigation is underway. And, you know, it's definitely an unfortunate incident. It was a event that went off for a while without any issues. I think the issue arose. One, you look at the permit. The permit was filed for 250 people to be in the park. There was never any mention of a march. The time of the event was right at the same time there was another event taking place at the FedEx Forum, one of the Grizzlies games. And so when they did the march, police allowed the march because they were just going to march down Beale Street. But when they got down Beale Street, at least this is from what I've ascertained, when they got down Beale Street, it was hard to turn the crowd back to go the other direction down Beale. So they took a left on Second and a left on MLK. When they come down MLK, that's where the additional traffic comes from. The issue, Beale Street is already closed to traffic, so traffic is not a concern. When you start talking about the traffic concerns, you think about some things that we've seen in other places. There's a really, really real safety issue, not just for the traveling public on the streets, but for the protesters as well. Because we've seen instances where cars have tried to drive through a protest and endanger the lives of those that are out there, maybe a counter protester. And so by the time they got to the end, I don't know what transpired. I saw what you saw. I've seen the
What did you
videos.
immediately think when you saw the video?
Why? Why? What's happening? But I don't want to start inserting my opinion while there's an investigation underway. So, you know, my response is we're going to investigate it, get to the root, and figure out what happened. But we also have to explore all of the factors that led to it, because the reality is that if we would have known that there was going to be a march, we would have also known there is a game, and we would have taken a route that would have been more conducive to ensuring that both events could take place at the same time.
Wow. So do you have a timeline on how long that investigation may be?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I don't guide that. I let them do. The Internal Affairs Bureau within the police department is responsible for it. I'm assuming it'll take a couple of weeks, but we'll see.
You'll keep us posted.
We will definitely.
I
don't think the people. I don't think the people would let me not keep us posted. So
No, they won't.
they're not gonna let me not keep them posted. So yeah,
No, they
the
won't.
information will come out, and
No, they won't.
you know, for me, it's just always about evaluating any incident that takes place in our city and determining how we can get better as a result, and making sure that, you know, we explain all of the mitigating factors that led to the incident taking place.
So just like you said, the people won't let you not say anything.
Right.
Do you think some of this criticism is fair?
I mean, we live in a world where everybody's opinion is front and center on social media at all times a day. So, I mean, I don't really get into whether it's fair or not. I think it's sometimes, I mean, off of that incident, I think it's often inaccurate. I think it's often not true.
And are people missing a certain component? Like we said when we started the podcast, people may not understand how your role works in government.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that as a whole, people don't understand the roles in government and who does what and how decisions are made and what the legality of certain things are. And in their defense, it's my job to explain it and to articulate it. But I think the power of social media and some of the ways that people use it and the techniques, like we have to make sure that on the city side we are just as well versed and just as aggressive with pushing out the accurate information on things. That's one of the things that I've learned in this role is that inaccurate information does not correct itself. Like you got to correct it. You got to be a mouthpiece, just like some of these other folks, and tell your side so that they hear with your voice what happened and how things are working in our community.
The correction isn't always as loud, right?
Yeah, it's rarely as loud, but it is necessary. It is necessary to correct some of the things that are often on record that are not true or accurate.
Mhm. Now, just to jump in some international relations real quick, you
Hmm.
know, there's a war happening right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Iran, Israel, United States. There is the potential for gas to just really escalate inflation of food, everything that we consume, right? Are you all preparing for some of this tension that may be hitting Memphis very soon, or is this kind of a wait and see because we don't know what
Yeah.
our president is going to do next?
Yeah, I don't know that we can predict that. I mean, for me, it's really about thinking about how it impacts us in the budget this year. Right now, I'm in budget mode and thinking about the costs for next year. So we're anticipating higher costs on the fuel side, which when you have all the fire trucks, police cars, and all the fleets of vehicles that we have,
Budget for that.
that's a big number.
Yeah.
And so anticipating what those numbers will look like is one of the ways that we've been working to prepare. But other than that, I mean, I try to leave the international affairs to those that are directly responsible for it because I have my hands full with what's going on right here
Yes,
in
you
Memphis.
do.
So certainly I'm thinking about what the impact is, but
Mhm.
in terms of, trying to opine or drive any of that, I just let the folks responsible handle that.
Well, your president was recently
He
here.
was. He was here.
And I didn't see you hanging out at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
spot with
yeah,
President Trump. You
yeah.
had another
I
engagement.
had a conflict, but I mean, I think it's important for people to know that what I was invited to was to be in the audience. I was not invited to be on the panel. And when I followed up with the White House, I let them know that yeah, I definitely talk to the president because if somebody's going to advocate for what we need in Memphis, it needs to be the mayor. And I have talked to other federal officials about things that we need. I met the Secretary of HUD in his office and talked to him about our goal for 10,000 housing units and our goals to remediate blight. And they're exploring some ways that they can be able to help. So I'm definitely always going to talk to the state, the feds, and anybody that can bring resources to our community because I have to be the chief advocate for our city
Yes, all the time.
all the time.
Okay, so let's go into some less tense questions. Not that that were
That wasn't
tense. You
tense. I
handled
mean,
yourself
you can
pretty
ask whatever. I
well.
told you, you can ask whatever.
Paul always tells me,
Yeah,
and I'm
don't.
like, should I call him Paul or Mayor Young
Yeah,
or
you
trying to
know
be
me, so
out?
it's all cool. It's all
Yes,
good.
it is
It's all
all
good.
good. However, let's get into some kind of off the record type discussions as it relates to Mayor Young. What does a normal day for you look like
A
that
normal
people
work
may be
day.
surprised by?
It's I dropped the kids off.
You actually drop your
Well,
kids
I'm not
off.
driving because
Okay.
we have a detail, but that's one of the things I said early on is that I want to make sure that I am able to still be very present in the lives of my kids while I'm in this role. And so
And how old are they now?
my daughter's 14, about to
You
be
got
15. I know,
10.
man. She just went to prom the other day. Damn, that
How
was
was
great.
that? Tell me about the prom
Man, I
experience.
had to, man, it was a lot. It's a lot.
Did she
Just,
have a whole like prom situation before the prom? You know
yep.
how they do
They had
that?
a whole lot going on. And she had a date. Very, very cool young man. Enjoyed getting to meet him and his parents.
Okay.
But it was real organized and they had a pre-event, then they go to the event, then they go to an after event. But she had a good time. But she's about to be 15, and then my
Mm,
son is 10, and he's about to
okay.
be 11. So, they're real active now. They're doing a lot of things, sports, and I want to make sure I'm present. So we drop them off every morning.
You go to the games and
Oh yeah, yeah. I
okay.
clear my calendar when they have, well, not every game, but most of them. I'm
That's
there.
good. They gonna remember
I
the
might not
time the
walk in
game
right
happened.
at the time the game start. I might
Yeah.
come a little bit late, but I try and make it to every one.
That's
And
good.
then after I drop them off, I usually jump on. As of today, we have a call that we do with our with chief of police and MPD. We talk about what happened the day before with the Memphis Safe Task Force being in place, and get to ask questions, hear the data, make sure we understand
What that
what's
data
been
looking
going.
like with the Memphis
Oh,
Safe Task Force?
I mean, the real data that I'm most concerned with is how are the levels of crime in our city. And what it's looking like right now is that we are still trending much better than we were this time last year, the time 2024, and definitely but better than 2023. And so our goal is to make sure that we're continuing to keep the numbers moving in the right direction. And so get off those calls, and then I bounce from events to meetings, and it's a full day of activity. And people are often surprised at how many meetings and discussions and events I go to on a daily basis. But I try to make sure that I am as present as possible in trying to solve the problem. And something else that people forget is that as mayor, you are also the chief executive officer of a 8,000 employee organization. That includes part-time and full-time, but 8,000 employees that are delivering services to the public. And so I have to often meet with the staff and the team on different issues and challenges and make decisions. I always tell people it's very rare that I'm in a meeting where I'm not the subject. Like,
Mhm.
it's for me to give a response or feedback. So I had to be dialed in and tapped in at all moments.
At all moments.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have the energy for this? Because before the power, we're about the same age. And I
Mhm.
tell you, I am so out of shape, but all the ripping and running you doing is probably keeping you in shape. Or do you work out or
Yeah. No, I try and get a little morning workout in every day, and that helps. But I think the thing that energizes me is purpose. Like the work that I'm doing, I don't have to do this. I get to do this.
Mhm.
Like, I get an opportunity to be in these meetings, to serve in this capacity, to represent the city. And so it's motivational. And I know it's for a moment in time.
Mhm.
At some point, this will end and somebody else will be in the role. And while I'm in it, I want to seize the moment, carpe diem, and make sure that I do as much as I can while I'm here.
Do you plan to run again?
Oh yeah, most def. Yeah, I plan
Okay.
to run and win. Oh yeah, no, that's most def. We going. I said that early on. Like, it's hard to do what you're trying to do in 4 years. Like, I'm trying to transform the city and really take us from a place where things have been relatively stagnant the last few years to really pushing us to a place where things are trending up, and we can see and feel the difference in the city. And I think by all measures, we've made progress in the last 2 years. Look at the things that were happening when I first came into office in January 2024. We're doing better.
Mhm.
But we got to keep doing better.
Mhm.
And so
All
it's going
right.
to take us 8 years to do it.
8 years from now,
Mhm.
based on the implementations that you've made, what does Memphis look like? 8 years from now, you still in office,
Yeah.
and those goals that you've had have been implemented.
I would like to see a headline 8 years from now that says Memphis is the fastest growing city in the country with the most equity. And what I mean by that is that it's not just people coming in and pushing the people out that have been there during the years when it wasn't as vibrant, but the people that were here during those years when it wasn't as vibrant, specifically in some of our neighborhoods that hadn't seen growth in years. They're there during the up years, and we're filling in the hollow spaces where you have vacant lots or schools that have closed and been vacant and taken all of that land. And that's where you're seeing the growth, where we're seeing our commercial corridors, where people are opening up small businesses, and those small businesses are thriving and they're employing people that live in the neighborhoods who can walk to work. That's why these housing goals are so essential. And so that's why I say, like, I'm so focused right now. We got to keep the main thing, because if you get distracted and you only focus on the things that people pull you to, and you miss out on what the long-term goal is.
Mm-hmm. Keep the main thing the main thing. I've been hearing people say that so much lately. Like that is a real thing. Keeping the main thing the
Might
main
be a
thing.
Memphis thing. I don't know. Maybe I
You
picked
think
it up in
so?
Memphis. I don't know where I got it from.
I heard quite a few people here in the city saying that lately, but it definitely related to what we were discussing. Now, you know, we kind of talked about jobs for our youth and things of that nature and your goals. Let's talk about AI for a minute because this is a really serious discussion. And I've noticed a lot of these big tech companies, it's been impacting them. I think
Yeah.
Oracle just fired thousands of people via email, no warning, nothing.
Oh, man.
But some of these big tech companies, and we've been hearing about AI entering into the workforce. And what are your thoughts on AI in general? Do you use AI?
I literally just started like using it as prompts for remarks and things like that.
Claude or ChatGPT?
What'd you say? What
Claude
Claude? I
or
hadn't even heard of Claude.
ChatGPT? Really?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one. So I wasn't using that one.
You weren't using that one.
No, I wasn't
Probably
using
Chat.
that. Yeah, I've used that. That's the one. I mean, that's the most prominent one.
Right. But do you know that a lot of people are no longer using ChatGPT? They're transitioning to Claude because ChatGPT, people are learning that they've invested into some nefarious
Oh
things.
no,
And
I hadn't. See, I'm such a novice user. Like I didn't know all of that, and I've only used it a few times, so I've only like played around with it. But the reality is that it's here to stay. Whether it's Claude, Grok, Chat GPT, or the Microsoft version, I can't remember the name of Copilot. There's a lot of different versions of AI, and it is one of the biggest things in the global economy right now.
definitely.
One of the biggest things in the world is artificial intelligence, data centers. And so I feel like we, residents of Memphis, citizens of Memphis, need to figure out how do we use it to capitalize on it for our future, because it's not going away.
Right.
And we see the impact that it's having on the global economy. And so how do we find ways to make sure that we are continuing to be relevant moving forward? And one of the things I know you may be on your list to talk about XAI, and irrespective of your opinion on the company itself or founders and all those things, we have the largest supercomputer in the world in Memphis, Tennessee. There are suppliers to the largest supercomputer in the world, like Dell, NVIDIA, SMC. So it gives us a recruitment opportunity. And one of the things that I don't think people have really dialed in on is the fact that we are now building a lot of the infrastructure that will drive artificial intelligence moving forward. So there's a company called Heiko Hyosung, which builds these large power transformers. So if you're building a power grid, you order one of these transformers to move the power from here to 300 miles away. So they build those right here in Memphis. I've been to 3 announcements the past year. One was like $100 million. The next one was $80 million. And I can't remember what the other one was. So they're building here. We have a company called Aon that's here that builds the HVAC systems that go on to the data towers that go in data centers.
This is some massive equipment.
Massive equipment. And so
Yeah.
what I've been telling folks is that we are building the infrastructure that will drive AI across the world. And you add that to the logistics space that we've already carved out for ourselves with FedEx, it opens up an opportunity for us to have the new wave of jobs happening right here in Memphis. And so I want to make sure our people are skilled up and ready. And so when it comes to the job space, like, we have to embrace what's happening worldwide, whether we like it or not, and how can we ensure that our people benefit from the jobs and we don't get left out in the cold. The workforce training program that I talked about with the 5,000 jobs by 2030, we will have a technology component that will include AI, where we're training people on how to move in that space.
Yes, especially with these corporations already positioned here. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be here. So
Right.
how do we as citizens profit off of this? How do we make it careers? Because they're not going anywhere.
I think it's important that people understand what benefits it does bring to our city. In last year, it generated $25 million in taxes between the city and county. This year, it's going to be $54 million between the city and county. And last year was the second highest tax-paying property in Shelby County next to FedEx. I'm not sure I don't know where FedEx is, but this year is 54. So, I think that as we talk about the things that we need government to execute on, the need for higher salaries for our government employees to make sure that they get the proper compensation for the work that they do, it all comes from tax dollars. And we need our pool of taxes to grow. The other thing I just want to point out on XAI, because I don't think people fully appreciate the community benefits ordinance that we put in place. We did something that's never been done, where we took a data center and we said that 25% of the taxes can only be spent within a 5-mile radius of this property. So last year was $12 million that went to the city. $3 million of that can only be spent within 5 miles of that facility. And so we're able to invest in home repairs, upgrading roads, community facilities, cleaning up the community, having contracts where we're having groups doing more intense cleaning just in that vicinity around Southwest Memphis. And so next year, it's going to mean about $7 million. So we have a revenue stream that's going to support an area that has not seen the level of investment that it deserves for many years.
Are those contracts going to many minority business owners?
Well, nobody has contracted with it yet. Most of the home repairs will go towards homeowners. The contracts will likely be vendors, many of which are minority, vendors that already do the cleanup, the blight work with the city of Memphis right now.
Okay. So you talked about the benefits of the AI, XAI, just that whole world as it relates to the city of Memphis. Now, some of the challenges, because we have quite a few, are some of the health concerns, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people have been very vocal about it. I actually live in DeSoto County, and FAI has moved to, I believe, South Haven at this
They
point.
have a facility in South Haven, and they have, most importantly, a power plant, which was a power plant before.
Yeah, in the past.
That has shut down, and they purchased the power plant, and now they're building more power.
So as it relates to like the noise levels, the health concerns, what can we do about that going forward?
Well, I think the key is to ensure that what they are installing on the turbines have the best levels of technology available. Obviously, you can't mitigate all of the things, but I know when we were dealing with it in Memphis, and I can't speak to what they're doing in South Haven because I'm not up to speed on it. But I know when we were dealing with it in Memphis, they had technology, SCR, selective catalytic reduction technology, that can be installed on the turbines that will reduce the radius of emissions by 80 to 95%.
That's a
That
high
means,
percentage.
yeah, I mean, it's a very high percentage. That means that the radius of how far the stuff goes gets much, much smaller and more concentrated in the space where it is. And so ensuring that it's that type of technology that's used with the turbines. And so I think that's important for people to think about. The other thing that we got out of it that I think is tremendous is that we have $100 million gray water facility that's being built on their dime. The reason that's important is because not only does their facility use a lot of water, so they're not using water from our aquifer, but across the street, TVA has turbines that power all of us, and they've been there for many years, and they've been pulling 6 million gallons of water per day.
6 million.
6 million gallons of water per day to cool the turbines. And it's been one of the biggest concerns in that community for many years. In my first conversation with them, that's what I asked them to do. And they're following through and constructing this gray water facility, which will not only serve them, but it also will take TBA off of the aquifer and use this water that is coming from our wastewater treatment facility.
Wow. My friend Paul Young has a plan in place,
Nah,
ladies
we've
and
been working.
gentlemen.
You know,
Okay.
all that doesn't always get out because it kind of gets
Yes.
lost with, and that's what I meant about, like, I got to be just as vocal about the things we are doing, because the things that we're doing is setting the mold for how people should think about AI moving forward. There are other cities around the country that are asking how we did it,
Yes.
because we have a data center that's paying full taxes, no tax break, that's building a gray water facility, that's agreed to come offline whenever we have peak power, and where we've created this community benefit ordinance where we're able to drive some of the tax proceeds directly back into the community that's most adjacent.
So there are a lot of benefits to it. And I believe you say you don't know what's going on in South Haven. I believe they're definitely looking at Memphis as a blueprint
Oh yeah, definitely.
for how they're moving
Yeah,
forward. And
yeah,
when
I'm
you try to
sure.
think about in the past, some of these tech cities that emerged back in the day, look at them now. Like they're some of the biggest, most profitable cities in
Yeah.
the United States of America.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the boom from banking in Charlotte and all of the stuff that's happening there. Down in Austin, you know, they
Oh yeah.
kind of pride themselves on all of the innovation that takes place there. Boston, very tech oriented. So, you know, we know that this has been a significant part of different cities' economy. And so we're just trying to make sure we navigate it such that it can be a positive benefit to us. We want a net positive. And I
And do
think
you
that's what we'll
often
do.
update the city on what's going on with that? I think, like you said, if they just don't know the information, they don't know.
Yeah.
There's a consistent update of
Yeah.
where you all stand with XAI in particular.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done it as a standalone update. I mean, I go to a lot of community events. I talk at a lot of
Right.
spaces. I do social media things. But what I've learned is that repetition is important, because even though I might feel like I say it all the time, there's always somebody who's never heard me say it. Somebody will see this and be like, I never heard all of it. But I feel like I've been saying it all the time. And so I think the consistent communication is what's most important.
Definitely. What does your support system look like? Do you have, let's start with this first, with
Yeah.
that question. Do you have a core group of friends?
Oh yeah, most
So we know
definitely.
you're a man of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know the Kappas run a lot going on in the city of Memphis.
yeah.
So do my other fraternities as well. But do you have a core group of friends?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, my wife, of course.
Yeah.
She's always been my fam, my mom, sister, brother, cousins. Like we got a real tight family. Um, my guys that I've been cool with forever. Some folk from Oak Haven that I'm still tight with.
Okay.
My boys from East that I'm still tight with. My guys from University of Tennessee, many of which are Kappas. that I roll with. We're a tight crew. I got a big universe of people that's my real friends. That like
day one.
like they're my people. They'll call me, curse me out if they think that I need to hear that.
Well,
they'll just give me love and support if they think that's what I need. But
that's much needed.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in a high pressure role.
Yeah. You want people to treat you regular. And they're my folks. When I walk in, I'm getting checked like everybody else.
Getting checked.
Yeah,
Are you checking back, Paul?
I don't do a whole lot of checking. I just laugh. I'm just laughing.
You don't get checked.
I mean, I should throw some little jabs in, but I'm not gonna be the one that's just holding court.
Gotcha.
Rocking folks.
Gotcha.
I'll be the one sitting back laughing, but you can't laugh too hard. Somebody, oh, you laughing over there? Go down.
Right.
Yeah, so you can't laugh too hard. But
yes, I always wanted to ask you about your support system. As I said, high pressure role, and it's daily. Like all the meetings you mentioned that you go to, even outside of your day to day.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It can get overwhelming.
It can. I mean, and it really impacts the family more because they see the stuff, and they hear it. I've learned how to turn it off. Like I go on to social media and scan every once in a while. Yeah, no, I don't even do the doom scroll. I don't do that. I just scroll.
Yeah, see what's going on.
5 minutes and see what's up and keep it moving. But if you own it all day and you see a lot of the stuff, it can be frustrating. Yeah. And so, I just keep it moving. But for the family, I just hate that they have to see some of it because I can take it.
Yeah. What you listening to in the ride right now?
Mostly J. Cole. I got that on repeat right now, the Fall Off. But then I have mixed with, all my old hip hop, Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem, T.I., Kanye, all that.
Okay. Any R&B?
On the R&B side, I mean, I like 90s R&B.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. All the effective audience remembers.
Yeah, I missed the song that you told me last.
Was that Aaliyah?
It was a Lauryn Hill song.
Oh yeah, it was Lauryn Hill. That's the only one you.
I was so mad I missed it. I'm like, how did I not know that? Yeah. My wife, she was like,
you should have known.
Yeah, like why did you not know that?
Right. So in a previous interview with Mayor Young, I had him finish some lyrics from 90s R&B, right?
Right.
So he did. He got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But he did miss one of them.
I needed 3 out of 3.
Yes. Now, instead of you finishing lyrics today, we're going to have a little fun with some Memphis trivia. I'm looking at my paper.
I can't read that far. My gloss is good, but that's not that good.
Okay. Now, some of this may be obvious, but some of it may not be. So we're going to test Mayor Young's knowledge in some Bluff City brain check. We're going to see how good your brain is on this fine day, okay? What Memphis artist is known as the Queen of Memphis and had a viral hit early in her career?
Glorilla?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, say it again.
Yeah, Glow, yeah.
Have you met Glow?
I did. I met her at the first 901 day that we did.
And how is she? I've never met her.
She was super cool. I met her a couple of times since then, but yeah, she's super sweet. Great young lady.
She may be back for 901 day again.
Hey, she's always welcome.
She's always
welcome.
Okay. Which legendary Memphis label helped launch artists like Al Green and Otis Redding?
Stax.
I'm going to say you better get this one right. Stax Records. Right around the corner from Lamorne College.
Yeah, LOC.
LOC, don't play.
LOC, Chris Davis.
Yeah, look. We're expecting you at the President's Gala on April 17th.
We're going to pull up.
Yes, the whole crew.
Well, the crew of me and my wife.
Yes.
But yeah.
We definitely want both of you there.
That crew will be there.
But see, Paul acting like he don't come with an entourage. When he pulled up to Cossitt, guess how many people came?
Stop it, man. Cut it out.
Yeah, they outside the door.
Yeah, they outside. They just making sure
we gotta keep our mayor good.
Yeah.
What famous author visited Cossitt Library in the 40s?
In the 40s?
In the 40s. He's black.
Langston Hughes?
No. One more try.
Oh man, what's my man's name?
If you know his Cossitt Library history.
Oh man. I don't know. You're gonna have to give it to me.
Richard Wright.
Richard Wright. Okay. Yeah.
I
Very
believe he had
prolific.
to initially check out books under someone else because he couldn't. Back
Was he
then.
here just to come, or was he speaking or something at the library?
No, he was just trying to check out books.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Initially, back in the 40s.
Nah, you just put me on something. I didn't know that one.
Yes, we need to give you another tour around here.
Yeah, we
and
should.
get you downstairs in
should.
the.
I've done a lot of
area
tours
mall.
here.
Yes,
but-
you have.
Yeah.
But you forgot a few things. When did the Mall of Memphis open?
Open. I would say that I spent a lot of time in the Mall of Memphis.
I was about to ask. I know Oak Haven. I know you was going to the Mall of Memphis
That was what I did from
around that time.
9th to 11th grade. That's what we used to do. Yeah. I would say it probably opened in like 81, 82. Over once?
Yeah.
Cool.
We missed the Mall of Memphis.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the days of malls are probably done now.
brick and mortar anything, right?
Well, I mean, I think brick and mortar has moved to experiences now. Like it's not so much like just selling retail the way it was done traditionally. People come for things that they can't get online. They need an experience. You got to have music and some of the other things that draw people in. And malls are just, it's inefficient. You got a big space where you just heating, you heating and cooling the walkways. So they start building lifestyle centers with outdoor connections, and you just be in the elements, but it's much more efficient for them.
I love the outlet mall in South Haven. Like,
yeah, it's nice.
It's just so convenient.
Because you live down there.
I live down there right off the highway. I know the store I want to go into in and out.
Yeah.
Versus a mall
where you got to walk through.
It's too much going on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you do your shopping online, most of it?
My wife does most of the shopping, if I'm honest. On like
clothes and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, I do a lot of online shopping for sure.
Yeah, it's just so convenient.
It is.
I'm sorry, Tech. Thank you, Tech. One more question, and you better get this right. What award-winning movie featured Mid-South artists at the Oscars, and they basically did a sweep? I want the movie and the artists.
Man, Craig Brewer. I know it's 3-6.
No. I'm the recent Oscars.
Oh, you talking about Sinners?
Okay,
Sinners,
movie right.
With Jasmine World's dad. Eric Gales.
Yes.
Shout out to Eric Gales and Jasmine.
Gales. And who else?
Who else? What?
Who else was a part of that?
The movie?
Mr. Gales and what other artist? Boo Mitchell.
Yeah, Boo Mitchell.
And my boy Bobby Rush.
Bobby Rush. Yes, that's right.
Shout out to Bobby Rush.
Yep.
Okay.
He was like 90-something years old.
And still moving.
I saw him on Beale Street last year, and I was like blown away. Like he was killing it.
He is so charismatic.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna put on a show.
He is. He put on a show.
You go to the shows out here?
I've gone to a couple, but yeah.
The Boys to Men situation.
I went to that. Yeah, I was there.
How was it?
It was great. I mean, it was throwback. That's my era. So, we had a good time. Tony Braxton, New Edition. Of course, I mean, it was great to see the FedEx Forum filled up too.
Yes, that was a good lineup.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm glad the people purchased tickets because, Memphis can sometimes be known as a city to buy tickets at the last minute, so maybe they may cancel.
And that's what makes it hard. Yeah, we're a last minute city, but we still show up. You bring us the right entertainers, we're gonna pull up.
Yeah, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, you will.
Look, it's your job. Make it happen, Mayor Paul Young.
Yeah,
bring the entertainment.
And we're working on it. We're definitely working on it. That was one of the meetings I had today with. I met with tourism, a lot of the arts organizations, and we were talking about how we want to amplify the work that's happening on the art scene because like that's something that people can't beat us at. In Memphis, we have to figure out how do we lean into the areas where we have strengths. I think I started with that, but I really, really believe that the thing that's going to help us overcome the challenges is by amplifying the things that we do very well. And people can't beat us at talent.
What is it about Memphis and just being so talented? Like
I think it's just we grow up with it. Yeah, it is. I mean, I was telling somebody, man, you go to any church in Memphis on a Sunday morning, you're gonna see talent that rivals talent that you would see in New York City. Just going to a random church because they grew up singing and delivering it with passion and all of the things that we're seeing every day. You embody that in, the vocals that you see, or some of the juking and dancing talent. I remember when we were in high school, every party there was a circle where somebody break out and start juking, and we all standing there watching them in amazement
That
at
was
how
my
well they
introduction
were
to
doing it.
Memphis.
Yeah,
At Raleigh, Egypt, because when we first moved, my dad is retired Army, so we moved here because of his orders to Millington. But that first year we moved, we had to move to Raleigh, and I attended Raleigh, Egypt my junior year. Baby, we were in the gym, and they was juking, and I was like, "Show me how to juk. Can you juk?
What's that? Oh no, you don't want that.
You never tried?"
I tried at home by myself, but
Lord, now that's the content we want to see,
oh,
Paul
nah, you don't
Young.
get that one. They'll be firing me up. They'll have me like the news dude. Yeah,
Rob,
shout out to Rob.
So Rob,
Yeah, I hadn't met him yet, but I mean,
been going
they
viral left
definitely a
and
Memphis
right.
moment right there.
Definitely.
I had a couple of mayors from out of town. I won't say who, but a couple of the mayors, like, man, y'all wild in Memphis.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah, so it made it viral for sure.
Any hidden talents that we don't know about that you would like to share with a verbally effective audience?
No, I mean, I don't have any real. You mean like arts talents, like dancing, singing, No.
Anything. When you
I'm
were in
really
high
good at
school, where
Connect
did you
Four.
excel at? Good at Connect Four.
Yeah.
When you
I
were
don't know.
young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be an engineer because I watched Different World and Dwayne Wayne was an engineer and he wore glasses like me. So I just made it up in my mind. I want to be an engineer. And I got an engineering degree. Yeah, I got a degree in it.
Followed that path.
And then decided that wasn't it. I wanted to do community development. And so I got into that. And my dream job was Robert Lipscomb's job. And, God saw fit for that to happen in 2016. So, once God gets you to achieve a goal, push you even further. I never thought I would run for mayor. Like that was nowhere on my list.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember when we first met, it was at Connect Music.
Yep.
And you were in your commission role.
Yep.
And we spoke, and I asked you, would you be a guest on our podcast? And you came right along. And look at you now, Mayor Young.
Hey, man.
Are you living your wildest dreams right now?
I definitely believe that. Yeah, I definitely believe that I have an opportunity to live my wildest dreams. Like I would have never even imagined to have this opportunity. That's why I say I take things in stride. Like,
yeah,
I don't have to be here. I get to be here. Like I get this opportunity. And when you think of it from that perspective, it changes how you receive the criticism and the weight. And make no mistake, it's a lot. It's a lot of weight that rests on the decisions that we make every single day. But I just try and get as much information as I can, make the best decision that I can with all the information I have, and keep pushing towards the next thing.
Keep pushing. We appreciate you, Mayor Young. And I feel like as long as you continue to remain transparent with the city, we're going to keep rocking with you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And
he already told us he's running again, so y'all better get ready.
I mean, they done heard that before, though. Okay. I mean, I've said it anytime somebody asks. And so I feel good about the path forward. But thank you for the opportunity to be on.
Anytime. You always have a standing appointment here at the Verbally Effective Podcast. But I do want you to leave the Verbally Effective Podcast with some final words. What do you want to say to the city of Memphis right now and beyond? Because we global over here, Verbally Effective. It just so happens our demo is mainly Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Memphians should know that we're a city that's on the rise. And I don't say that just in jest. Like we really are moving into a better space than we've been for many years. And sometimes we are our most harsh critics. And because we get so frustrated with, the challenges that we see day to day, we have a tendency to talk down on our city. And I think it's important that we change that. There's some place like there's folks in Texas, like you can't say nothing bad about their state,
I'm from
any of the
Texas.
cities. Yeah,
Love my
you
Texas.
can't
Shout
say
out.
anything bad. And I think we need to
A
get
lot
that
of
same
pride.
energy, that pride, where like we're so committed to who we are. I think it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I believe if you speak negativity into your city, into your kids, into your life, then you're gonna reap that. But I also believe on the converse, if you speak positive narratives and uh, proclaim success, then you're going to achieve it. And so I just ask everybody to take that same lane. I'm not asking you to bury your head and ignore problems. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we can overcome the problems and we can become a much better city if we can change our attitude on how we look at every single day.
All right. You heard the man, Mayor Paul Young, dropping plenty of gems, being very transparent and open. And I bet you learned something about Mayor Young that you did not know on today's Verbally Effective podcast. Thank you so much, Mayor
Thank you.
Young, for joining me today. I'm going to have you back very soon. We may do this bi-monthly, I think.
Yeah, let's get a
It's
let's
just
get
too
a
much going on.
yeah, let's get a frequent
Yes, get you on the
frequent
schedule here
appearance
at
on the
Cossitt
books.
while we teach you more of the history of Cossitt Library as
Yes.
well.
Teach me before you ask me so I can know the answers. I will get the answers right out here.
I got you. We'll do that. We'll do that. But I really, truly appreciate you for coming today. And I'll see
Absolutely.
you in 2 months on that chair again. But I want to thank you all for joining me for the rebirth, resurgence of what? The Verbally Effective podcast. You guys have been hitting me up for a year now saying, Ena, where are you? Where are the guests? Where are the people making an impact here in the city of Memphis? Well, we kicked it off with Mayor Paul Young. And thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow the podcast at Verbally Effective on all social media platforms. Thank you so much. Signing off, your double Ena Esco on the Verbally Effective podcast.